Our next scenario is the tax preparer scam. Imagine this: a family, the Smiths, decide to use a new tax preparer to simplify their filing process. Unfortunately, this preparer turns out to be fraudulent, using their personal information for their own gain. The Smiths only discover the issue months later when they're contacted by the IRS. This is a nightmare scenario, but sadly, it's more common than you might think. Sam and Taylor, let's unpack this. Sam, how can individuals choose a trustworthy tax preparer and avoid scams like this?
Alex, that's a crucial question. First, always verify credentials. Ensure the preparer has a Preparer Tax Identification Number, PTIN. This is essential. Check their standing with professional organizations like the National Association of Tax Professionals or the American Institute of CPAs. Look for reviews and testimonials. A simple online search can reveal a lot. Don't be swayed by unusually low fees or promises of excessively large refunds. These can be red flags.
So if I understand correctly, it's not enough just to find someone who advertises tax preparation services. I need to actively check their background.
Exactly, Taylor. Being proactive is paramount in protecting your financial well-being. Sam, what about recourse? What can someone do if a tax preparer has already misused their information?
That's where things get more complicated, unfortunately. First, contact the IRS immediately. They have procedures for handling identity theft cases. File a police report and consider contacting the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, as well. You can also report the preparer to the IRS Office of Professional Responsibility. Keep meticulous records of all communications and transactions.
So, let's say I've been victimized. The IRS has been notified. The police report is filed. What then? Is there any way to mitigate the damage to my credit or finances? This feels overwhelming just thinking about it.
It can be, Taylor. That's why prevention is so crucial. But if you find yourself in this situation, consider a credit freeze or fraud alert. These can help limit the damage. Also, the IRS has a Taxpayer Advocate Service TAS, which we'll be discussing in a later segment. They can provide assistance in navigating these complex issues.
That's an important point, Sam. Remember, everyone, TASC can be a vital resource if you find yourself in this situation. Taylor, does that make the steps a bit clearer?
Yes, it does. It's still a lot to process, but knowing there are resources available like tasks and concrete steps to take makes me feel less helpless. So to recap, verify credentials, check for red flags like unusually low fees or promises of huge refunds, contact the IRS immediately if you suspect something's wrong, and file a police report. Did I miss anything?
You've got it, Taylor. That's a perfect summary. The key takeaway here is due diligence. Don't rush into choosing a tax preparer. A little research up front can save you a lot of headaches down the line. Before we move on, here's our call to action. Research and vet tax preparers thoroughly before sharing sensitive information. Report suspicious activity to the appropriate authorities. So we just discussed how important it is to vet tax preparers thoroughly. But unfortunately, scams can come in many forms, not just through shady tax professionals. Another common way criminals try to steal your information is through phishing emails, and that's what we'll be discussing next.